When he joined the company at the age of 22, his ambition was to become a manager and earn a 4-figure salary. After 53 years in the job, Mr. A.M. Naik leaves behind the company with revenues of over 1,20,000 crore and a legacy that is going to be very hard to replicate for his successor and fill his outsized shoes. Mr. Naik, pleasure to have you with us, and thank you for talking to Moneycontrol today.
Well, thank you very much for coming. It's always a great pleasure to meet with you.
Thank you. As you get ready to retire later this year, you leave behind a legacy, as I mentioned, which is absolutely hard to replicate, and you have put in place a successor as promised by you a couple of years ago. Have you finished all that was on your plate as you get ready to say goodbye later this year?
See, L&T is a group which is almost 21 companies rolled into it. It is India's most diversified company. It is one of the few, if at all few, in the whole world which is so diversified at 3 levels. So for anyone, for that matter, it will be a huge challenge to manage in the most efficient, globally benchmarked manner Larsen & Toubro as such. Now, with SUBRAHMANYAN, I noticed 10 years ago, hardly anybody knew him, but I found there was a spark in him. So I mentored him. Year after year after year after year for nearly now 10 years. Of course, last 2 to 3 years, it's not really mentoring. It is more communicating with each other as to what is really required to be done for the group. I was also very, very clear that L&T is not something in its current shape and form can be taken over just like that. You know, it needs a lot of time to induct a person. So fortunately for L&T, he was running 45% of the business already. But the whole diversity was not in construction. It was elsewhere. So therefore, I decided to announce that he should be the successor 2 years ago, which we did. After that, new economy businesses which had started, I was the one who founded it in 2000. That is the Infotech as well as engineering services. I brought him on the board of both, handed over both the companies to him on a day-to-day basis, sent him for 4 months to United States for orientation and 1 month to Europe. And during his time, I took care of what he was supposed to be doing on day-to-day, although he's so hardworking and committed that even from United States, he will keep track of what's going on here. So I think those 2 businesses were handed over more than 18 months ago. Then about 7 to 8 months back, another very, very difficult project that we have right now is Hyderabad Metro. So he's now a chairman of Hyderabad Metro for more than 6, 7, 8 months. Another very, very difficult business is shipbuilding. And there is a reason for it. It is not L&T's doing. It is that the government hardly moved and never placed. And our idea was to put a defense shipyard, not commercial shipyard. We were forced to do some commercial ships because there was no defense order. Even now, there is hardly a defense order worth talking about. But there are signs that the defense is now taking shape for private sector, and I'm sure from next year, the defense will take a deeper roots in the shipyard, and in 1999 onwards, defense shipyard will be the jewel in the crown of L&T. So he is already involved in that. I have a plan now. We still have 9 months. What he will take over on 1st April with a proper director appointed and the whole structure very well laid out, 1st of July and 1st of October. And I hope by 1st of October he would have been running the company as such. Obviously, he will become stronger by the day as he gets more and more experience. But I have full faith in him. He's the best man we have. I think he will do a good job.
That brings me to the question that you often mentioned that L&T is too complex has become too complex, and which is why finding the right successor became a problem for you, because you had to identify somebody who could handle all that you had built over the years, different business lines, etc., and some of them which you've just mentioned. That made the succession even more critical for a company like L&T. Do you think that, S&S, for instance, what are the qualities of your successor that made the selection committee identify him, and what makes you think that he will make it a success, he'll take the company forward?
One thing is he has been in the company for 30 years.
Right.
He has been in the largest division, which is construction, building infrastructure of all kinds. And that infrastructure, when, let's say about 7 years back, was only one company. Now there are 6 companies, which means that we have focused the company which makes buildings, residential, commercial, factory building, as one company. The one which is transportation, that is railways, ports, and airports, as one company. That's transportation. Heavy civil, that means the one which builds nuclear power station, hydro power station. There are many other defense-related, very, very complex projects. That is a third company. Likewise, water. Water was a 2,700 crore business 7-8 years ago. Today it is 17,000. So we have, by bringing focus to each company, by dividing the whole ECC into 6 parts and bringing 6 chief executives, have grown the company multifold. And I think that is his biggest strength, that 6 of those companies he knows very well. So 45% of the company, now that we have appointed 2 directors from ECC on the board, I am continuously advising him, and I think he is trying to do it, to leave now the entire ECC on those 2 directors, so that he gets involved in the rest of L&T, something which he is not completely familiar with. But therefore, I gave him Hyderabad Metro, shipbuilding, IT, technology service. I'm getting ready to give him something on 1st of April, which is going to be the future of L&T. And that is something which I'm sure he will do very well. So I think if there is anyone who can succeed, he can. In this complex company, it's not going to be easy for anyone, including me, to run the company in a globally competitive manner. Remember, the key word is globally competitive. Anybody can run somehow, any company, any group, any organization. But are you running in the best possible manner to be globally the best company? For each of these 21 companies to run by one man simultaneously. So it is going to be tough, but if anyone can do it, he will do it.